All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Some of You Are in That Philoprōteuō Spirit. And I'll break down what that word means when we get to the scripture. But those of you that have been studying, you know that the word philo means love or friend. And proto is first or chief. I'll leave it at that, leave that up to your imagination for the moment. This is a pretty much a response to the whole debate spirit and everything that's going on. And, just the whole spirit of this debate or this debate spirit is pretty much, Elder Pastor spoke about it, Elder Pastor Gabar, different brothers. This video happens to be the Elder Karataza out in Vegas, did a response to Bishop Nathaniel's response to Guerrilla Hebrews New Covenant Challenge. And when you understand what's really going on, it's really more so of jockeying for that head position. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's the whole sentiment. That's the world's sentiment. If you're a rapper or a basketball player or singer or whatever the case may be, and you want the head position, you have to challenge the head individual. When somebody wants to be the championship, the champion of the world in boxing, they have to challenge who? The champion that's currently reigning, king of the mountains, so to speak. And this is pretty much what these individuals are doing, And Lord's will we get into it. A couple of precepts came to mind when I was meditating on this. I didn't really have a topic, but I was just listening. I listened to Elder Pastor's video earlier. Then I listened to Apostle Gabar's video, listened to that. I listened to a couple of other videos. I listened to this brother's video, the whole thing. The Elder Karata's out of Vegas. I didn't put this in the description box, but you brothers can go to his page, GMS Vegas Sit Downs space 144 Ga, and watch the video, get edified. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button so so it could get circulated. And pretty much, that's what this whole debate is all about. And as the Apostle Tara said, which Apostle Gabar echoed his sentiment, was the debates back then were free. That's what the Agora was about, the marketplace, and that's what they would do, public debates. Debates wasn't about, having a particular building to go to and you have two sides, and then, okay, collect the money, see who's going to do what, and then, we'll judge. No, they were done out in the public. You had public debates. You had, buying and selling going on. You had, court, sessions going on out in the public. And that's what it was, just something where everybody would come to and listen to the debates, whether it was political, whether it was religious, whether it was based upon philosophy, whatever the case may be. And a lot of these guys are really doing it because they want that Philoprōteuō, that position, they're in that spirit. All right. So the first scripture that I wanted to get to first and foremost is the book of James, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to start at the 13th verse. As you can see here, wisdom from above. It says, who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with what? Meekness and wisdom. Because the Lord loves the meek. The Lord loves a contrite heart. He loves the lowly. That's what he deals with. These individuals, the scriptures say knowledge puffeth up. So you have these individuals that have a puffed up spirit. They're very proud, very arrogant. They're snooty. They look down the side of their nose at individuals, call individuals, bums and call them all kind of names and pretty much look down upon them, which the Apostle James, in the 2nd chapter of this same book, condemned that spirit. You know, if somebody comes unto you that is poor, and you pretty much just look, go sit over there in the corner. But if a man comes in there that's rich with a with a nice ring and all that stuff and arrayed all nice, you're gonna treat him with more respect and put him up in a higher seat because he got money. Because at the end of the day, this truth to a lot of these Israelites is nothing more than a hustle. It's nothing more than that same church spirit, except with a Hebrew Israelite twist to it. You know, and a lot of these guys are about making money. Now, if you have a business like the elder pastor mentioned, and because you got to make some kind of money to be able to survive and live and thrive, then that's what you do. But don't use the truth as a means or as a come up, to try to make money, to not supplement so much, but to continue in the lifestyle that you want to live. Hey, having raiment, food and raiment, be there with content. You got a roof over your head, you got food on your plate, you got clothes on your back. You don't need much more than that, unless you don't believe that this place is going to be destroyed. So as we read on, it says, "But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth." Now, when we go here to the word envying, where the word there is zelos, which you get the word zeal or zealot, right? It could be used good, like excitement of mind, ardor, fervor of spirit, having that zeal. And it could also be used as an envious and contentious rivalry, jealousy, that burning hatred that you have for one another. And the scriptures speak about that. Here it is, you got these individuals that say, keep the laws, teach the laws, preach the laws, eat the laws. But yet, they they bear false witness, and when they bear false witness, they are breaking the law. And if you break one law, you're breaking all the laws, because this is what the scriptures say. And then pretty much they'll accuse us of hating our brothers, but then they're the ones that hate their brothers. Proverbs 26 and 28. A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it. So if you lying on somebody and you know damn well that you're lying, and you're bearing false witness against them, you basically hate that person, because the ones that are being afflicted are the ones that you're lying on. So a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it. So what did the apostle John say? He said, "He that hateth his brother is a murderer." And by you lying on us, not having any proof of anything that you're saying, just saying it because that'll stir Jake's emotion, and it'll stir more people your way, and it'll stir contention and hatred towards us. You do that all because we're correcting you on breakdowns that you've been going off on. You know, this goes back to One West with you, man. Inside joke. So it says a line, and that's the whole thing. You would think, as a man of reason, a man of logic, a man that's a man of wisdom, that if you were corrected on things in the past that you were wrong on, but you staunchly fought against, and come to find out later that what you taught and what your stance on that was wrong, and that the person that corrected you on that was actually right, you would think that as a man of wisdom, you would sit there and rationalize it. But wait a minute. Years ago, they said this about that and this about this, and I was wrong about it. So could it be possible that they could be right on the MOTB being the micro C hip? But they won't consider that until it comes out. That's why General Bishop Nathaniel said, he said, he did a lesson, and he ain't really speak too much on it that I know of. He did a lesson, I say maybe about roughly 6 months ago or so, on the digital system that's coming on board, because he's like, oh shit, he's seeing how everything is moving in the direction of a digital currency. And he said they might throw a micro CHIP in there, but it's not the MOTB. Why did he do that? Because he wants to have some receipts later to spin. If you listen good, moron, I did say they were going to have a digital system, because Oil Can Harry. Bishop Oil Can Harry. So it says, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it. So you would think that you would consider your stance, you being dead wrong on certain things, certain breakdowns in the past, and eventually now you're teaching the same things that you fought against. You would think that you would consider those things and be like, you know what, I was wrong back then, I could be wrong now. But it says, a lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. And that's what happens. That's why we don't like that flattery bullshit. Now, when we look up the word strife in the book of James, chapter 3, I like this here because the word strife is erithia, right? Which means electioneering or intriguing for office. Apparently, in the New Testament, a courting distinction, a desire to put oneself forward, a partisan and factious spirit which does not disdain low art. So pretty much someone that's trying to push themselves in the head position. And that's very important to understand, you know, because if a person is sincere, in due time, the Lord is going to raise you up to whatever position you're supposed to be in. But a person that's not, they're always looking for ways to try to move forward. As the person that, is not looking for that and doesn't want that, eventually he ends up advancing. But these individuals have to artificially advance themselves. And that's where you see all this contentious and crap that's going on. It says additional information from the outline of biblical usage. It says this same word was found before New Testament times only in Aristotle's, and it gives you, a source where it denotes a self-seeking pursuit of political office by unfair means. See? So it's not sincere, as we're going to read later on, Lord's will. It's not a sincere attempt. It's not advancing in a sincere manner or because the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is putting you in that position. It's you, artificially, for lack of better words, placing yourself there, giving yourself these different titles. And I was watching Elder Pastor's video earlier, and he mentioned Ephesians 4:11, right? And I was going to put, Ephesians 4:11, that's the 411. If you get it, 411 is the number you would dial in the past. I don't know if it's still active for information, And Ephesians 4:11 gives you a list of the offices that were set up for the edification of the body. Okay, I was going to put that as a joke, but I say nah, because most probably wouldn't get it. And there was a song by Grand Puba and Mary J. Blige, what's the 411, hon? Anyways, that's for you old heads out there. It says Paul exhorts the church to be one in the mind of Yahushai, not putting self forward or being selfish. See? And when we read Philippians 2:3, which is one of the quotes, right? It says, let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So these individuals, right, that are bucking for these positions, they'll get all these different breakdowns, all this different, all these breakdowns in the scriptures, right? But then nuggets of wisdom like this that will give you the right mindset of how to be in this truth, they totally miss that. That's what Yahushua told them wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, you swallow a camel and strain at a gnat. You see? Because of the weightier matters of the law, like judgment, mercy, and faith, they lack. Because it's all about them. Self-glorification does not fulfill the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? Then let me read that again. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Right? Putting someone in the leader, say, no, nah, brother, I believe, you're in other words, like the Apostle Paul said, condescending to men of low degree. you know. And as we read on, matter of fact, well, we're going to get to it. All right, so let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. And individuals are not going to do that, especially those seeking for self-glory. James 3:14, which we're reading, but if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. You know, because the truth is the truth, and there's no lie in it. Speaks against having selfishness or self-promoting in your heart. You see? Now, let's go back. Let's read that again. Then let's move on to the next one. So it says, but if you have, James 3:14, but if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. Now, this is a scripture that came to mind, and I want to read. When you read from the first verse, this is the Apostle John, you know, encouraging the church, you know, and giving them credit and praising them for following, you know, the orders and following the doctrine and the gospel and keeping it pure in so many words, right? Now, as we read down, right, he was, you know, commending them for their charity, you know, and commending them for you know, not not for lack of better words, I'm not, he didn't say it this way, but for lack of better words, and not stealing from the Israelite foreigners. Okay. But for helping each other, for that brotherly charity that they have for each other, right? And this is what he was writing to them for, you know, because back then there was a lot of need, because the Israelites were being persecuted, especially the ones that were teaching the gospel of Yahushai. So there was a lot of necessities because you had a lot of poor, and they would distribute to each other and ask, you know, look, we need some help here. We need help over there, you know, if you can. And that's why when Apostle Paul met with the apostles finally after a certain period of time, you know, one thing that the Apostle Peter said once they gave him the right hand of fellowship, it said, look, just make sure that you take care of the poor. And the Apostle Paul said, and I was already doing that. See, so there was a lot of that going on. So certain individuals wasn't having it, like this individual here in 3 John 1:19. I'm sorry, 1:9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the what? Preeminence among them, receiveth us not. You see? So this is that spirit, and this is where the word, you know, Philoprōteuō comes from, which we're going to get it. But before we go there, the word Diotrephes itself, right? This is heavy because, you know, names carry vibrations. Diotrephes, right? It says nourished by Jove. Now, who is Jove? Jove is another name for Zeus. See, and that is the wrong vibration to have. You know, nourished by Jove or nourished by Zeus. Look it up. When you look it up, Jove is another name for Zeus. I thought it was another name for Juno, which I believe that was a wife of Zeus, but I found out that no, it's another name for Zeus. All right, so he already had the wrong vibration on him. And then on top of that, he was proud, and he didn't honor the apostle, you know, in this. That's why I said he resisted him. Now, when you look up the word preeminence, right, which we read, Philoprōteuō, right, you have two words, philos, which is love or friend, and you have protos, which is first or chief. So lover of the chief. In other words, lover of that first position. These individuals don't want to take a back seat. They're looking for that self-glory. They're looking for that self-aggrandizement, you know, self-promotion, you know, levitating, uplifting themselves, which shows that they don't understand what this truth is really about. And before we read this, no, I'm going to read it. To aspire to preeminence, to desire to be first. See? ambitious of distinction, to be fond of being first. All right. So let's see if this word comes up. Let's see what it gives us if we search it. Uh, right there, it just says superiority, which is preeminence. Preeminence means superiority or being superior to or notable above all others. See? So they want that head position, not because they are defenders of the gospel, but it's for self-aggrandizement, for uplifting, self-glory. Now, Yahushua condemned that spirit when he cursed them wicked Pharisees and Sadducees out. Luke 16:14. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things, and they derided him. So they heard the speech, they heard the gospel of Yahushua, which is the gospel of Yahweh, and they ridiculed him, much like they ridicule us. So we take that as a compliment. We take that as we being in good company. Okay? And he said unto them, it says, ye are they which justify yourselves before men. And that's what these individuals are doing. They justify themselves before men. It's not about the upliftment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's just a shtick, for lack of better words. That's just using that as a stepping stone. But really, when you examine them, for the most part, they don't add up. Like Isaiah said it, Yahushua quoted it. Their fear towards me is taught by the precept of men. Because it's not about what the Lord wants, it's about what they want. It's about them being exalted. And how do we know that? Because here it is, you have these individuals that will be big on, like the IUIC, they're big on, you can't have a coon name. You got to call yourself Ben. How do they go? How do they say it? Ben something, something that they have to put at the end of their name. I can't think of it right now, and making sure that you get their name and their title correct. But when it comes to the Most High and Yahushua, you can call them whatever you want to call them. We don't have their names, but make sure you get our names right, or else we're going to get this big muscle-bound gorilla over here to whoop your ass and to intimidate you. That's how they're moving. You better get their title and their name correct. Ben Israel, I believe it is, that they call themselves, if I'm not mistaken. But the Most High knoweth your hearts. Ben Israel, okay, the elder Hawaii brought it up. But the Most High knoweth your hearts. See, and that's the key. The Lord tries the reins of the heart to see what your innermost thoughts are. For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of the Most High. Right. Because what did Yahushua say? When you do this work, when you do these things, do them so that men can see your works and glorify your heavenly Father, which is in heaven. That's what they're doing, is not for the glorification of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, it's for the glorification of themselves. All right. And that's why the Apostle Paul, cursed individuals out about teaching his word for filthy lucre's sake. Look, Yahushua told the disciple, don't take no purse with you. Don't worry about it. The script, nothing, none of that. Because the labor is worthy of his hire. The people are going to take care of you regardless. And I want to just play this real quick, because I want to ask if y'all brothers can hear this.
Open up. Oh, you said somebody challenged me to a debate.
We're putting out an open challenge to anybody who's credible, of a high reputation and status in the Israelite community. We got $1,000 for you to debate.
Okay, cool. So now I know how to do it.
Against our stance on this.
And And now I know how to do it. Okay, so I got it now. So how to do it? I figured it out. Spirit kind of working me. I figured it out. So I just wanted to know that. So that's why they're doing it. They're not doing it for the glorification of Yahweh by Shemal Shai. It's for their aggrandizement or their uplifting, or them being put up on a pedestal. And that is the worst place you want to be at. No, remember Yahweh Shai said, "You sit in Moses' seat. The day which are last shall be first, and the first shall be last." So you don't want to be put up on that pedestal. Wait for the Lord, and the Lord will deliver us in due time. The Lord will, put us in the position that we're supposed to be in due time. But they don't want to wait for due time. Matter of fact, let me use this one here. I believe that's in Galatians. Nope. Right here, 1 Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time. See? So the Lord is going to be the one that's going to do the exalting in due time. What does due time mean? The appropriate time, the set measure, the right measure. When the time is correct, because it's not going to be out of time. It's not going to be out of season. It's going to be right on time. Kairos, due measure of time, a larger or smaller portion of time, hence a fixed and definite time. See, so there's going to be the right time when the Lord will exalt each individual in due time. But that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of the Most High, as we read here in Luke 16:18. Okay. So let's go from there to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You see? But these guys, stuff like this, they miss the whole thing because it's all about that feeding that megalomaniac spirit. Feeding that narcissistic spirit. Feeding that lust for power, that preeminence, that lust for preeminence, as we read in 3 John 3 and around the 9th verse. It says to be fond of being first, ambitious of distinction, love to have the preeminence or have that first seat or that first place. And what we should be striving for is what? Salvation. Yahweh Shai said, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. All right? And this is why you had guys like Alexander the coppersmith, which the Apostle Paul said that did me much evil. He said he resisted our words. So everything that the Apostle Paul taught, this individual resisted it. So that leads us into Philippians, the first chapter. We'll start at 9. The point is a little further down. And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment. Don't worry about what position you are. Did not the disciples argue about that? Didn't they argue about that? Who is greater than this, that, and the other? And Yahweh Shai said, look, the child, bring a child. Unless you become as a child, you will not enter into the kingdom. So all that fussing and fighting on who's the first and all, look, don't worry about that. Those positions are already set. In the book of Psalms, I believe it's 132nd chapter, if not the 122nd, if I'm not mistaken. It says that there are set thrones. Everyone has their position already set. And they will be placed in that position in due time. If an individual is in the wrong seat, guess what? They're going to be moved, whether they be moved upwards or downwards. It all depends on where they're at, what position they're in. So don't worry about that. Guys worried about, damn, look, I want to be called the elder, man. I didn't put in 6 months. I want to be called an elder. I'm tired of just being a lonely soldier. I'm tired of getting my plate last. I want some rank so I could, because if you got it like that, you got it like that. Don't worry about that shit. The Lord's gonna put you in the right position in the right time, not before. Beautiful. The water, brother, Hawaii, Psalms 122:5. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. That's right. Worrying about some goddamn rank. And that's one thing we didn't. The ranking that we got was, we didn't really get that much rank, and we didn't give a shit about that. The apostles wasn't on that. Apostle Gabar and Apostle Rakai had the same rank schmenk. I think the furthest we got, I think at one time was what, soldiers of 1,000 or something like that. If that, we didn't give a shit about that. That didn't mean anything. We were just happy to be here. We were just happy to do the work. We were just happy, to still be partakers of the truth, and that the Lord was having mercy on us for that purpose. The ranking system is really only supposed to be set up to keep order. That's why you have the Ephesians 4 and 11, which is the 411 on the different offices that are used to edify the church and to continue to keep the church, in the same spirit, same unity, the same mind, with the sound doctrine, and to constantly abound and increase. It says that you may approve things that are excellent, that you may be sincere and without offense till the day of Yahushua. By what? By the knowledge of this truth, not by your position and bucking for having the preeminence, salivating, on the side of your jaw, because you looking. I almost got that head seat. Damn, just missed it. Maybe next time. I'll get you next time, gadget. Inside joke. Being filled with the fruits of righteousness, not envy, strife, bucking for power. And you've always had that spirit there for the longest. Guys depressed because they can't, they didn't make it to be a general yet or whatever, which are by Yahushua HaMashiach unto the glory and praise of who? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua are going to get their glory before we get ours. And that is the right way of passage. Yahushua hasn't been glorified yet. So why would you want to be glorified in a cesspool when Yahushua hasn't got his glory yet? Fully. And he deserves it, Philippians 1:12. But I would you should understand, brethren, that the things which happen unto me have fallen out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel. That's all the afflictions and tribulations the Apostle Paul went through. So that my bonds in Yahushua, because we are prisoners of Yahushua, are manifest in all the palace and in all other places. Right? People know all of the hardships that the Apostle Paul went through. It says, and many of the brethren in the Lord waxing confident by my bonds, right? And that's why we speak about our past experiences in the truth, whether it was afflictions, trials, tribulations, being locked up for the word, losing, whether it was jobs or family members or wife or children or whatever, to help those that may be newer in the faith, that may be going through these similar things, to help strengthen them in the spirit. You see, it says, and much more bold to speak the word without fear, right? Because if you have no examples of what it is to suffer for the truth, then when things come up, you may get offended. You see, it says, some indeed preach Yahushua of envy and strife. See, and some also of goodwill. So you have those that are preaching the Lord Yahushai of envy and strife, and you have those that are preaching them of goodwill. And you're seeing the bickering, going back and forth, and the bucking for position and trying to get up in that top position. And that's why certain individuals try to befriend others that are higher up in positions and have avenues where they can make all kind of money, because they're trying to get a piece of the pie. It says, the one preach Yahushua have contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bond. So they look, as the Apostle Paul is going to say, whether you're teaching in sincerity or you're teaching in contention, Yahushua is going to be glorified anyways. And the Apostle Paul said that he rejoices in both, because both of these things have to happen, because Yahushua said it best. It is impossible but that offenses must come, but woe to him by whom the offense cometh. So the scriptures must be fulfilled. You have to have both examples. Now, when we look up this word contention, the word there is erithia, electioneering or intriguing for office, which we read earlier, about strife. Apparently in the New Testament, a courting distinction, a desire to put oneself forward. We just read that. Then we read about, which the word, another word was strife. Contention, strife. It's all about advancing. You get used to, like a drug dealer or someone that is famous in this world. They're used to living a certain lifestyle. When they get a certain amount of money, then their career is not doing so good, so their money starts to dwindle, and they can't afford to live the lavish lifestyle that they once had, and they don't want to downgrade. They want to go forward. They want to live even better. So that's what these individuals are doing. They're using the Lord's word as merchandise. It says a partisan and factious spirit which does not disdain low arts. So let's read that again. The one preacher which I have contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. You're not going to add any more trials or tribulations or hell upon us than was already meted out for us. Yahushua said, he told the disciples that they're going to drink of that cup. If the master drank of it, we're going to drink of it. And you're not going to add an extra ounce or an extra bubble or extra quart, to our afflictions that we have to go through. It's already set and etched in stone. You're not going to change the narrative of what the Lord already has for us in the spirit. Doesn't matter what you say. And when you lie on us, which shows that you hate us, that's just making the truth even more and more precious. Because it's causing individuals that have a simp spirit, that have a emotional, bitchy woman spirit, to say, nah, I'm not going to go with those guys. No, because they believe in graping. Good. The Lord don't want your bitch ass. Little soft, moist muffin ass. Fruity ass. It says, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. And in defending the gospel, you have to, contend, as the Apostle the Apostle Jude said, Yahushua's brother. And that's a part of, then when you look up this word defense, it goes into the word apologia, which is where you get the word apologist from, which is pretty much defending the gospel. Having to contend. And we do contend, but we don't have debates. Debates are public. They are not, today they're closed off. You only get a certain amount of time. And man, contentions back then, and the debates, they would get heated. They would get so heated, sometimes fucking riots would break out. Okay, you got 3 minutes, and you have to say what you got to say. You can't use this, you can't use that. All kind of regulations and stipulations. The word of the Lord is free. Matter of fact, Let me get that. These individuals are trying to bottle the spirit of Yahweh Shai up. 2 Thessalonians 3:1. Matter of fact, let me go to the chapter. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord Yahweh Shai may what? Have free course and be glorified even as it is with you, because you have those that try to put, a gate around the truth. They try to, stop the truth from moving forward, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men have not faith. Right. And what are they doing? They're trying to stifle the word. They're not trying to allow the word to go forward. Let me see what they say for free course here. Free course. Treco, where you get the word trek, means to move forward. Another word, what's the other word? Edify, which is to build. There's another one, which means to move forward. I can't think of the word right now. Lord's will to come to me. Treco. To run, see? Of persons in haste, of those who run in a race course. Metaphorically, of doctrine rapidly propagated, meaning moves forward. By metaphor, taken from runners in a race, to exert oneself, strive hard. Keep the truth moving forward. I don't think the word is edification, which is to build, but there's another word that sometimes our spirit has me going to, which means to allow the truth to move forward. Expedient. You know what? Let me leave that just in case. Let me get, what's this here? Treco. I just let me see. What was it? Damn, should have got it. Just forgot the word. Expedient. Which the word expedient could be used as important, like here. Let me try this one here. All right, right here. 1 Corinthians 10:23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Not everything moves the truth forward or builds the truth. All right. Now, when you look up the word expedient, let me see what this one says. Sum fero, to bear or bring together, to bear together, to carry with others, tribute, to order, in order to help, profitable. Let me just look it up, see what it says. Expedient. Expedient is an adjective that means helpful or useful in a particular situation, but sometimes not morally acceptable. Synonym, blah, 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 blah. Let me try it this way. Copy. Let's go here. I should have had it up here. Here we go. Just bear with me right quick. Advantageous, fit, proper to a purpose, expedient, useful, beneficial, or directly Latin expedientem, beneficial, expedire, already prepared, expedite. Let's try expedite. Right. Expedite. To remove impediments, move to the move or to the movement or progress of, accelerate the motion of progress of, meaning move it forward, hasten, quicken. Now, when you look at the word X out, foot, as you see, foot out. So if you're putting your foot out, meaning you're moving your foot forward, making haste, making it move forward. So that's what the word expedient means, is to make things move forward. And when you make things move forward, that means that it's beneficial to your mission. All right. So where are we at now? Expedient. So we got that. Let's read that one more time. 1 Corinthians 10 and 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. So going back here, for the word treko, which means to trek, to spend one's strength in performing or attaining something. A word occurs in Greek writings denoting to incur extreme peril, which it requires the exertion of all one's efforts to overcome. But the more one we're dealing with is by a metaphor taken from runners in a race, to exert oneself, strive hard, to make it move forward, pretty much. So going back to Philippians 1:17, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. What then? What notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Yahushua is preached, and I therein do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice. For I know that this shall turn to my salvation through your prayer and the supply of the Spirit of Yahushua HaMashiach. You see? So there's a constant feeding. This also goes hand in hand with Ephesians, the 4th chapter. That's the blood. The blood life of this truth is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that constantly supplies the body with the right nutrients it needs to continue to move forward, keep pushing forward. That's why the scriptures speak about abounding. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, and that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Yahushua shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. All right, so that's the main point. All right, so dealing with James 3 and 14, but if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, you're trying to buck for that head position. You're looking at another guy like, I can't stand this mother effer. I wish he would drop dead so I could, be in that position. Glory not and lie not one against another. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. So when you want that head position that you're desiring and craving and salivating for that head position, then that's not wisdom from above. Because if you knew anything, if you understood anything, if you really understood the scriptures, you would want to be lowly. You wouldn't want to, desire for that head position. Because guess what? Judgment must first begin at the head, at the top. The last shall be first, first shall be last. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. And that's what's going on. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. And that's why Yahushua said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall obtain peace. Something along those lines. So 3 John 1 and 9, when it speaks about this individual, they said that he loveth the preeminence. And we looked at the word preeminence, which is a part of the title of the lesson. Philoprōteuō, which is the compound word, philos and protos, which is to aspire to preeminence, to desire to be first. So some of you are in that Philoprōteuō spirit, and hey, whatever. You gotta have, this has to happen because it's in the scriptures. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.